Hi guys, it's Dori. Give me a second. I'm having a little bit of a technical thing going on here, so this is your chance to get another cup of tea or something while I figure myself out. So give me like 30 seconds. Probably not even that much. There we go. Okay, I think we've got it. All right, she did it, everybody. I had the camera, the phone turned the opposite way, so it was like showing everybody me like sideways. So anyway, here I am. Hi guys, thank you so much for showing up for this. I'm really excited about sharing all this information with you. What I'd like to do for you today and over the next 3 days is we're going to weave a safety net for divorce so that you know that no matter what's going on around you, you've got what inside of you, you have the power to turn it around, to fix it, to take care of it, to get yourself out of whatever situation it is and into a better situation for yourself. And we're going to do this by harnessing the power of things you already have, which are your body, your mind, and your heart. So we want to keep those as strong as possible so that you're there for yourself as well as you can at a time when you need to be at your strategically soundest, most logical, most powerful, most far-thinking and far-seeing time in your life. So first, a little bit about me. My name is Dori Eldridge. I'm so glad you're here. I'm a clinical aromatherapist and holistic healing practitioner, and I'm also a divorce mentor. And so using my education in those things and also my own experiences with my own divorce, I've created a program called the Art of Graceful Divorce. And the goal of this program is to help people through who understand that divorce is a time of transformation, right? And they just need the tools to get them there on the fast track. I did see divorce as a transformation, but it took me 10 years. So let's do it quicker for you because I've got all the research, all the tools, all the things I learned, and a lot of which I'm going to be sharing with you today. So that's the goal of this program. And a lot of other divorce coaches focus on the legal and financial angle of helping people through divorce, which is so necessary. My role is to focus on the emotional health of the people going through it. So whereas some divorce coaches are, making sure that you take care of yourself financially, I'm making sure you're taking care of yourself emotionally and that you know how to harness the emotional energy of everything going on with you. And so that you just rise like a phoenix after the divorce and even through it. So my actual, a little bit about me personally, I'm divorced, a mom of a 15-year-old young woman. And I haven't remarried yet, but I've been dating a wonderful man for 5 years. I'm an entrepreneur. This is one of 2 businesses I have. My other business is digital marketing, which is kind of I consider it my VC funding of this business for right now. I'm going to share more about my divorce story with you over the next 2 days, but I really want to get right into what we want to do today, which is we're going to be talking about keeping the physical body strong. This is something that tends to go when we're under a lot of stress, especially when we're in the whirlwind of divorce, that feeling of being shot out of a cannon. The last thing you're thinking about is, did I eat breakfast? Or, boy, I really need to get on the treadmill. But as as our rational minds know, and as anybody who has ears knows how important it is to take care of ourselves. We hear it all the time, but when you've got so much going on, it's difficult to prioritize it. And I have been there. Frankly, when I get stressed out, even now, physical stuff is the last, it just goes by the wayside really easily. But we want to keep your body strong because that's what carries around, well, it's what protects and supports your mind and your heart, which are the two things that you really are important going through the divorce, that are there and showing it for you powerfully, those two things. So we need the body to be there so you can do everything you do with purpose and clarity. The body is the last place where stress manifests, because first you've got your spiritual beliefs. We're not going to get into that in these 3 days. That's a huge part of the program that I do. Your belief systems and how that then translates to what you're thinking, and how what you're thinking turns into how you're feeling, and how you're feeling manifests in your body physically. So we're going to be bouncing around a little bit. We're going to be talking about the body today, the mind tomorrow, and the emotions and the heart the third day, because I feel like when I was going through my divorce, when I'm under stress, the body goes first, and then my mind usually goes crazy. Once I calm those two things down, then I can really address what's in my heart and how I feel and what I really desire for myself. So the idea with calming the body. Oh, thank you, Michelle. You're so sweet. The thing with calming the body is you really want to bring down your blood pressure, calm your central nervous system. Both of those two things will help your immune system be more resilient. So the things that we're going to be talking about today are tools that I've studied and learned over the years that do that for you in the moment it's happening. The first we're going to be talking about, because the reason why you want that stuff to be calm is because you want your brain to be working well. And when your blood pressure is normalized and when your central nervous system is calm, you can actually think with the parts of your brain that think strategically. If you're under a lot of stress, if there's cortisol running all through your body, you're thinking with the fight or flight part of your brain, which is just like cut and run. You don't want to be at your lawyer's office talking about the rest of your life with a cut and run mentality. It's just not going to serve you. So I'm going to touch on several ways to kind of help you calm yourself in the moment. And some will resonate, some won't, but the ones that resonate, take note of those. And I'm happy if you have any questions. Even if you're not watching this live, if you're watching this days from now, put it in the comment. I'm checking it. I'll see the comment, and I'll get back to you with an answer for you. So the first thing we're going to talk about is something that's going to sound very familiar, which is nutrition. We're going to be talking about the need to put fuel into the engine of your car, right? Into the engine of your car, into your gas tank, which makes your engine run properly. I am a huge believer in breakfast. I know a lot of people out there aren't hungry in the mornings. They're kind of like diesel engines. It takes them a while to get going. But a good breakfast is going to, especially if you've got early morning meetings with your lawyers or anything that's going to require you needing to think really clearly, breakfast. If you don't have time for breakfast, which when I was working in corporate, it was a lot for me to get my kid out the door and then figure out a healthy lunch for myself and a breakfast too. So I personally, there's all kinds of breakfast like shakes you can do. I do isogenics. There's Shaklee. There's Beachbody. There's like all these different ways to get breakfast, get those nutrients in your body as quickly as possible. Even if it's just a breakfast bar, but I really recommend something more nutritious than that, because you really need to keep everything functioning well. And your mom was right, you need to eat breakfast. The other thing is hydration, water. Not tea, not coffee, not sparkling water, not flavored water, certainly not juice. You need just straight up water. Every system in your body requires water to perform. So if you're going, again, if you've got a lot on your plate, if you're being pulled in 1,000 directions, if you're exhausted and stressed out even if you're like, there's a lot of joyous times during divorce too. You know, I mean, you're doing it. You're like out there. You're starting a new life. All of that requires your body to be working well for you to really be able to enjoy it. And your body needs water. It needs a lot of water, probably more than you're getting. Definitely more than I get on an average day. And I really focus on that. The other thing I'd like to talk about with food is, you know, there's probably 10 lifetimes worth of books out there about intentional eating and making sure that, you know, you're eating the right kinds of foods. But I would say that when you're stressed out, the last thing I reach for is a carrot. I'm going for the cupcakes. I'm going for the potato chips. I would just say that if you're going to go for the cupcake, eat it, enjoy it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just embrace it, enjoy every bite, talk sweet to yourself while you're eating it. Forgive yourself for eating it if you need to. I know there's a lot of people out there that feel a lot of guilt around food, and there's so much emotion around food. So give yourself a break. And if you feel like you need the cupcake occasionally, you know, I'm not saying 5 times a day, but if you know, I'm just saying be intentional about it and really just get wrapped up in the sensual pleasure of eating a delicious cupcake. So that's what I'd recommend for that. As far as supplements go, you need adaptogens. Your body needs adaptogens, which are herbs that help your body reset from stress and help your body be more resilient with stress. Please check with your doctor before you take these. I am not saying just go and buy these and start taking them. Check to make sure they don't interact with any other medications you're on, but ashwagandha, which is basically ashwagandha, and Siberian ginseng. Both of those 2 things help the body recover from stress and deal with stress better. The big thing that I want to share that I'm really excited about is reflexology points. For anybody who's not familiar with reflexology, it's a system of healing where you apply pressure to certain points in the body, very similar to acupuncture, except it doesn't use needles. It uses pressure from the fingers. The best place to do reflexology is on the bottoms of your feet, because that, you know, all of the meridians, all the energy centers of the body move through the feet. They also move through the hands, but the feet just happen to be a better place to do it. But you know, you can't really pull your shoes and socks off in the middle of a meeting or in the car. So we're going to do it. I'm going to show you how to do some reflexology on your hands that will help calm your central nervous system right in the moment of when you're being triggered. So let me just follow along with me here. This is my right hand in case things are flipped. And reflexology actually works to correct inflammation, tension, and congestion in the body. So what we're going to be working is the parts of the hands that deal with the spine and the nerve centers of the spine and the neck all the way around the head. You're going to do that on your hand. The first place you're going to go is you're going to work from here up here. This is your spine on both hands here, and you guys see my little scrape there. I'm still healing from that, but here up to here. You always want to go this way, like this. And you're going to do it with it's called a thumb walk. And this is what you would do. Kind of just walk your thumb up like that, all along here. And with some pressure, right? This is going to work your spine. Just kind of get rid of some congestion. If this thumb walk is hard to do for you, just simply pressing along here. And if you have long fingernails, you can just do it with the side of your finger like that, all the way up into your thumb. And make sure you're doing it this way and not the opposite way. It has to do with the fact the digestive system also is overlaid here, and you want to make sure you're always moving in the direction of peristalsis so you don't constipate yourself. So if you move clockwise, but it's actually, you know, from this corner up to your thumb. The other place to work that's very soothing is from basically this knuckle up on each finger. This is working everything from your sinuses all the way up to the top of your, you know, to your brain. You can again do the finger walk, the thumb walk, or you can simply just squeeze and press like this. And you can feel, actually, so I get allergies in the springtime, and I can actually feel it up here. It feels tender. And it's going to help. This actually also helps with allergy symptoms. It helps with anxiety relief. It helps with headaches, jet lag, nausea, working up the fingers, just like that. And this is something you can do. You don't have to hold your hands up like this to do it. You can do it under the table. You can do it as you're driving. We're going to be talking more about sleep tomorrow in the mental section, but sometimes when I can't sleep, even just holding and squeezing my fingers, it's very calming. You do it for a couple of minutes, and you'll start to feel your breath slow. I know I do. Do it for your thumb too. And just say nice things to yourself, comforting things. Comfort yourself. It's going to be okay. Okay? Because it will. It will be okay. Okay, so that's the central nervous system tips for reflexology. I'd like to also talk about some creativity and grounding exercises. I am big into creative outlets, especially the women listening. We need creativity. We just need it. The men do too. And the men, when I talk about masculine and feminine, we all have both inside of us. I'm more talking about energy than I am about gender or anything like that. So our feminine aspects need creativity. I find that if I'm under a lot of stress and feeling very scattered and my body feels depleted and exhausted, if I do something creative, it charges my battery. And creativity and grounding usually go hand in hand. When we're in the act of creation, in the act of, even if it's creating dance, creating music with our mouths, any kind of physical expression can be creativity and is grounding. Getting out in nature, especially now that we're coming up into spring, at least in the Western Hemisphere, or the Northern Hemisphere rather. Take your shoes off, get your toes in the ground. It's really very empowering to do that, especially when you feel like you're being pulled in a lot of different directions. So if you feel like you can't get to the gym, I've read studies, and I'll try to find them. I've been unlucky finding them so far, but I know I've read that even 1 or 2 minutes of high activity, like dancing around to your favorite song, really like just putting everything into it for 2 or 3 minutes is just as good as doing like a half an hour on the treadmill. So if you can even find 2 or 3 minutes, just let loose physically and dance around, scream, sing at the top of your voice, all of that pulls that tension out of your body. One of the best things I have ever done for myself is attend I'm not sure what the official term for it is, but I called it a rage workshop. It was at a martial arts studio, and a wonderful woman led it. And we just beat the crap out of, the pads, the punching bags, the things you hold, we threw heavy medicine balls against the wall. It was one of the most healing and cathartic things I have ever done. The idea is to get those emotions and that mental tension and everything, get it out of your body, right? So, and once you remove that and get it out, you can access your logical and calmer, more joyous emotions much easier. The other thing is you also want to create stillness in your body too, especially in the hours before you go to bed. Yoga, meditation, deep breathing. Yeah, this is all stuff that I know you've heard before. I would encourage you to commit to yourself. It doesn't take that long to take a couple of deep breaths. It doesn't take that long to create stillness if you just sit. 2 or 3 breaths. That could be enough to shift you into a more relaxed state, to stop the cortisol from coursing through your system, to just let everything just deflate a little bit inside of you. And then there's also, like, along those lines, there's visualization exercises that I find extremely helpful and have found helpful, especially when I can't sleep and when I feel like everything around me is completely falling apart. And that is the visualization exercise where it does require you to be able to sit with your feet on the ground If you can't sit with your feet on the ground, if you can lay down, if neither one of those, you should be able to, it should be possible for you to do one of those two things. But you, both feet on the ground, and you take a really deep breath, close your eyes, and you're going to imagine yourself as a tree with very deep roots. And you're going to imagine those roots going deeper and deeper and deeper into the earth, and just to the very center of the earth, grounding, just locking you onto the earth. And then you're going to imagine the energy coursing from the earth through your body and out through all your branches. Beautiful. And you can make that tree look however you want it to look, but make it look beautiful. And just sit there and just feel the energy coming up through the earth and out through you. You can also feel it coming down from the source of power, from God, from whatever you, just all through you and back down into your roots. That, again, that takes, 5 minutes, maybe even, depending on, how much time you have. But that can really, what we're looking to do here is to shift you out of panic, overwhelm, and the body feeling like it just can't take anymore, shifting you out of that. Even if it's just for a couple of seconds, so that you start getting used to what it feels like to be calm. And if you can lock into that, especially in the minutes before you go into important meetings, in the minutes before you answer that email from your ex or your soon-to-be ex, before dealing with anything important, the realtor, the financial planners, whoever it is you're talking to, bill collectors, credit card companies, there are, everything is going on right now. Before every single one of those conversations, do yourself and your future self, and if you have children, your children, the huge favor of taking an extra 10 seconds to ground yourself. Make sure you're drinking adequate water, getting adequate nutrition, adequate exercise. We'll talk about sleep tomorrow. Tomorrow's training starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. Getting into nature. These things are all things that I did that really, really impacted my ability to be present for myself. Not doing some of these things got me into trouble. There was several times when I was just like, I can't take anymore. I can't make another single decision, whatever, just get me out of here. And I wasn't there for myself, and I'm still living with those decisions that were made on that day 13 years later. So yeah, you can go back to court, but that is expensive, and you don't want to do that again. I just didn't want to do that again. So anyway, so those are some things we can do to keep our bodies strong. If you have any questions about any of this, please put it in the comments. I'm happy to share whatever I can with you. And so my program, Art of Graceful Divorce, it's pretty much in beta right now. I am looking for three people to take this course at a very reduced rate, to just so I can work through the material, and you would be, you'd be there to benefit from the material. It'd be it'd be like a month version of it. It'd be compacted into like the fast track. All the same material, all the same support, and you would just kind of give me what works, what doesn't work for you, suggestions. You just kind of be my beta tester. I'm looking for 3 people to do that with me. So if you're interested in more information on that, definitely private message me about that. I would really want to sign people up for that in the next week. So I think it's like April 4th. By April 4th would be great. So again, private message me about that if you're interested. And I'll see you here tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And again, it will be available for replay if you can't make 10 o'clock. And anyway, be well. Have a great Friday night. And if you're a basketball fan, that's where I'm going to be tonight, in front of the TV set. But have a great weekend if I don't see you. All right, take care.